Adding a receptacle on this little desk here, missed it on the rough end, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed off of this receptacle to the left, feed it behind this double oven. Luckily that was there, so I can just cut out some drywall, go through there, and then add a receptacle right here. Parts I'm gonna need for this is a cut-in box, obviously outlet cover, outlet, and then a short piece of 12-2 Romex. So here we go. Use a little screwdriver right here to feel if the stud is on this side. If it is, we'll probably have a little bit of a problem. Now what I'm able to do is I'm just gonna cut out a little bit of drywall, and I am going to do this by hand. So if you ever have trouble getting drywall out like that, little trick is just run a couple screws in it, and you can pull it right out. And I got that drywall removed. Don't really want to get into that blocking, so I'm going to go up a little bit higher on this guy, unless you're a fucking dead eye like me. So got that hole cut for the box. Now I'll go get my drill these holes through the studs. Forgot my drill at home, so I'm just gonna give this impact a whirl. Here we go. So as you can see, I got my wire from point A to point B. Now I'll show you the makeup process. On these cut-in boxes, they've got these little flip ears that just grab the drywall when I tighten it up. So all I gotta do is put that wire in here. I'm not a big fan of these blue boxes, especially these little wire holders. They tend to cut through that insulation, so I just break them out. And then I'll just tighten this up. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and make this up. When you're using a utility knife like this, just cut in the middle. You wanna leave about a 1/4 inch insulation back there. Cut down the middle of this wire, peel it back, and then you can just cut the back of that insulation off like that. That way you have no risk of cutting the wires. Always make sure you have at least 6 inches measured from the back of the box. I like to always make sure I have about 5 to 6 sticking out. And if you don't know what 5 to 6 inches is, I'm sorry. When you're making up a receptacle, if you're not using these screws, go ahead and screw those in. You don't want anything to come in contact with those. And when you're tucking these wires in, you always want to make sure you get them back in there far, or use your fingers to really bend that wire around. But these blue boxes don't like to take these screws. Now, I like using breakable plates. Yes, breakable. They're molded around here. It's a lot easier for that cover plate to sit flush and go around the receptacle and the cut-in box. So that receptacle's installed now. Now all I've got to do is make this side up, which I'll show you how that's done. Same thing over here. When you have 2 wires coming into a receptacle like this, you got to do what's called pigtailing. So you'll actually take all these wires off the device. I am going to use an impact to loosen these. Don't want to use an impact to tighten them, obviously. So we're going to strip this wire the same way we did over there. Cut down the middle. Expose this copper. Cut the back off. And if you slice through that, obviously I'm a professional. I don't have that issue. But if you do happen to nick the black or white wire, you will need to tape it up. This can just be cut off. Okay, so as you can see, there was no greenie used here, a green wire nut or a crimp. So what happens is you expose this wire, and that can lead to a short. It can nick the hot wire, it can nick the neutral, and then you've got a ground fault short. So you never want to leave that exposed. You always want to have a greenie on there. I'm just going to twist this around there, get it to where it's exposed right there. Cut this off. What I'm going to do is bend this part back, just like that. Wire nut that on there. and then it's not exposed anymore. Plus that gives that a good connection. Push that all the way in the back. When you got 312s in a box, you don't have much room to work with, so you got to keep in mind how much room we got. Now that you have 3 wires, there's only 2 screws on a receptacle. We're gonna do what's called pigtailing. And this is where I'm probably gonna cut these wires just a little bit shorter because, again, we gotta manage how much room we have. My UK and European friends are gonna cringe because I'm gonna twist these wires together and not use Wigos, but fuck those guys. They're not from America. Just kidding, it's a kid's show. We love you, UKers. Gonna get all those to the end, take your clines, prep it good. This does take practice. I am the best at it. If you don't believe me, just ask me. So now all those are twisted together good. Wire nut that. Then these can be tucked in back there. Again, we're trying to get these back as far as possible because we've still got a receptacle to go in here. And these hots have to go in. Cut those off. Remember that wire that I used to pull through there? I'm not letting it go to waste. I'm gonna use that right here as a pigtail. I'm bleeding! I'm bleeding. I quit, I'm done. We all know electricians are the toughest of the trade. Come on, get the fuck out of here. All right, it's a little slice, that ain't bad. So what you do if you're an electrician, you wanna get that blood all cleaned up, just wrap a little electrical tape around it. This is a proven scientific fact that electrical tape is better than a Band-Aid. When you're putting these wire nuts on, you never want to have any copper exposed anywhere here. So if you've got copper exposed, you need to either cut that off or redo it. I think I cut my hand on this glass here. It's glass tile. It's just so beautiful. Man, I'm glad you guys did that. Again, we've got these screws that we're not using. As you'll see, I am not using that impact to tighten these screws. There is a such thing as over torquing. Should I be using a torque wrench here? Yes, but I'm not. Cause I got 20 years experience, brah. White goes to the silver screw. Black goes to the gold screw. And then just fold those in there good. You do not want this ground to come back and touch the neutral or the hot because it will short out. Obviously, it'll short the neutral being a ground fault circuit. If it wasn't a ground fault or arc fault circuit, it wouldn't short the neutral. This is long AF. So I'm just gonna get these started and then use my impact again. And go. All right. And there she is. So as you can see, I ran from this receptacle all the way through where this double oven is going to this new part, and nothing's ever complete without testing. So let's test it and see what we got. Plug that in. As long as we got 2 yellow lights, we're good to go. Part of being a professional, especially an electrician, is cleaning up, putting your tools away, getting the job complete. Obviously, I said cleaning up. That's probably a surprise to most of you, but I am a professional. I am an electrician. I'm not cleaning up.